I think I always have a little bit of apprehension because of me and my personality and my, will I have what it takes to actually do what I need to do?
All right, welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast. I'm your show host, Maxime Sigouin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching, a company that is on a mission to help 10,000 people get lean, thrive, and reduce their risk of chronic illnesses by 2033 and 1 million by 2050. I believe that having a fit, healthy body and mind is the foundation to living an incredible life, and this is what the show will give you if you choose to listen and implement. Enjoy the episode and have a great day. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another podcast episode. Today is a Fit Vegan success story, and I'm joined with a Fit Vegan Superstar, Erika. Erika, how are you doing today?
Hi, Maxim. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. I call you Superstar because you're always on the group calls. People love having you on there. So that's how you earned your title.
I enjoy the group calls. They're full of great information, and it's just so nice to connect with people that are on the same journey.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about your journey. I want to talk about the ups and downs. And just for the people listening, Erika's down 32 pounds so far since we started working together. I like to give a little bit of context to people, kind of who you are, what you do before we dive into your journey.
Okay. I am retired from officially working for anybody else. I have been for a couple of years now, which is really nice. So it allows me to have the time to spend on myself and to take care of myself a little bit better. I know how difficult it can be. You're working 8 hours a day. I don't have kids at home. So, people with kids, it can be hard. So I'm fortunate that I don't have those extra challenges. I've been doing this now since May. Excuse me. Really glad I started in the summer for various reasons. I'll go into those a little bit later. But other than that, I travel. I head out. We do have an RV. Go down. I'm living in Canada right now, so we do head down to the States occasionally. And those are the more challenging times.
Oh, good. Yeah. One thing is it's always better to start in the summer because it's a little bit more challenging during the holiday season, which we're getting into now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, and just to put it into context, I know people, do you mind if I say your age?
No, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Just the people listening, Erika sounds young. She lost she's probably 30 years old, lost 30 some pounds. Erika is 64 years young and is still have been able to lose the weight, which that's incredible because a lot of people's reasoning as to why they can't is because kind of the age falls into it. And so let's go over where were you at before you joined the program? Like, what was it that made it that you wanted to do this?
It was getting hard for me to do things, puffing and panting and going up the stairs. I couldn't walk a block anymore. And I know it's the weight. I mean, I like probably so many other people watching this right now. I've done the whole yo-yo thing. So I know how it feels to feel good and to be at a decent weight. And I know how it feels to be overweight and and how difficult it can be to do almost anything. And I was just concerned I was killing myself slowly, and I just didn't want to do that anymore.
Was there like a moment that you're like, I need to change, or was it kind of like an accumulation and you're like, nah, now it's time for me to do something?
An accumulation. I'm one of those people that knows I need to do something, and sometimes it takes me a while to actually do it.
Yeah, but ultimately you did. You committed, and now you're down like 30 plus pounds, which is great. Not a bad place to be.
Yeah, no, I feel so much better. It's just amazing the difference that 30 pounds makes.
Yeah. Well, let's go over your journey. So how was the beginning of you being in the program? Was it like a change in nutrition compared to what you were doing before? Like, how was the exercise? How did you adjust to all that?
Um, I used to exercise back in the day, but I hadn't in so long. The exercises that were given to me were manageable. Um, they didn't take hours to do, which made it easy. It made it
Mhm.
so that I was able to actually do it. Now, had somebody tried to throw me into an hour and a half, exercise routine, I'm not sure I would have been quite so successful. So I'm up to an hour now, pretty much. And again, it was slowly, gradually getting up there. So that was definitely doable. As for diet, my diet when I'm not watching what I eat is just absolutely atrocious. And I know, in my head, I know the things that I should be doing, and I know the things that I should be eating and shouldn't be eating. But I just sometimes need a little bit of structure and somebody to help me um, get back onto the right track. And that's what this program has done for me. So that's been excellent as well.
Yeah. So what
And
were
and
some
then the
of the
walk.
guilty pleasures before?
Yeah, yeah. My whole life was full of guilty pleasures. So that doesn't make them guilty pleasures anymore. That makes them
Just
habit and
standard?
routine. Yeah, exactly. So, but and then the walking, and I've always known I should be walking every day, but do I do it? No, because maybe it's not so easy. But again, that's a good a reason that I was so happy I joined like late spring, early summer there, because I've been able to get into that habit now that winter's here and the weather's crappy.
Yeah, now especially since you're on the island, you're gonna be training inside. It's gonna be rainy. It's gonna be gray.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm curious. Like a lot of people, I feel like you saw this in a program where we have all different types of people that come from different
Hmm.
places, that start from different places. There's people that are already doing something before they come into the program, and they just don't know how to get to where they want to. So they need like structure and kind of knowledge and education and the right steps. And then there's people that don't really do anything, that want to start doing something and ultimately do it right for the first time, and that's kind of why they come in. But what was it in you that kind of shifted, that were like, no, I'm going to be compliant with nutrition, I'm going to be compliant with training? Was it like a instant moment, or did you kind of have to work at it while you were in the program to be like, no, Erika, you need to do this, you need to continue showing up?
No, I think once I made that decision to join the program, I made that decision to be compliant. Otherwise, why bother? That's my thinking.
It's good
I
reasoning.
Yeah. So, and that's not to say that I have never fallen off track, because I have. This past few weeks has been a challenge because, as you know, I've been out of town for the last month. When I do travel, if I'm only gone a few days, not a big deal. I can stay on track. I can do pretty well. But once it goes into a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it starts getting a little bit harder. So, um,
Yeah. Well,
though
let's
I will say I've not missed a workout. That whole time I have not missed a workout. Those some days it was a challenge.
Good. Well, I'm proud of you for that. So like actually
Thank you.
let's dive into that. Like how, well, just grab this last one for example. Like how did you navigate continuing to show up for the workout and doing the best that you can with nutrition while you're on the road? And ultimately, if you did go off track, how did you navigate going back on track?
The workouts, we have a fifth wheel, and we were in an RV park in Ferndale, Washington. They have this great community room. So I had my mat. I carried my little dumbbells. Like I don't, and I do a lot of bands. So the bands are easily portable.
Yeah.
The weights, I'm not up to any huge weights yet. So I could carry my little 5 pounders with me, and I haven't had a mat. And I'd go into this community room, and they'd have doors, so I could put my mats or my bands on the doors, and do what I needed to do. So um, that's fortunate. If it hadn't been for that community room, I would have tried to figure something out, but it sure wouldn't have been that easy. So,
Yeah. Well, you're
and
resourceful. You found
yeah,
a space to do it.
yeah, yeah, got to
Yeah.
try. Would have been easier if it were in the summer and the weather were good, but we had some really bad days weather-wise. So it wouldn't have been so easy to work out outside.
Yeah. So how do you find it? Because ultimately, I know you obviously live in BC, and we're entering the months where it's colder. It's going to get rain. It's going to be gray. So being in Washington, you kind of got a glimpse of that for what's coming for Canada. How did you mentally handle going for your workout or showing up for yourself when it was cold outside, raining, and uncomfortable? Like, what's the part in you that kind of had to be activated?
Sometimes it took me a little longer to get there. In the summer, I get up, I go, I do my workout, I do my walk, and I'm done. The
Yeah.
winter, it's a little longer. It's a little, again, I'm retired, so I don't have to be up at a certain time like, a lot of people, which maybe is not such a good thing. And I'm not really good about, saying, okay, I'm going to set the alarm and be up at 7 o'clock every morning when it's dark and cold and
Yeah.
whatever. So sometimes I would drag a little bit, but I don't know. I just kept telling myself, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Go do it and get it over with. If nothing else, go and get it over with. And then once you start doing it, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
that
just a
getting
getting
started.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and
And
I feel like there shouldn't be any guilt to it taking a bit longer for you to go and work out.
right.
Because like, hey, it's raining outside in LA right now. This morning it was freezing cold. I think
Mm,
I stayed in bed an extra 45 minutes before I was like, oh, gotta go do my leg workout. But
yeah.
ultimately, as long as you do it, it doesn't matter how long it took you to
No,
get there.
exactly. That's what I figured. Getting it done is the win,
Yeah.
not how long it took you to get there.
Yeah. So I'd love to dive into like the beginning of your journey. I'm curious, what were some of the tools or resources or things that you learned that were helpful into you starting to get some momentum for yourself? Because your graphic for fat loss was pretty consistent from the start. You were starting to see some progression from the start.
Um, for me, I mean, the meal plans are awesome. Having those to follow along and to take the guesswork out of what should I be eating and when should I eat it and how much should I eat. It has been awesome. Now, that's not to say I followed them completely every single time. I'm not a very good person about eating the snacks, and I'm not really good about the smoothies either. But um, uh, just having that uh, has been just utmost for me. And then too, the workouts. I don't to do it on my own. It's like, well, what am I going to work out on? What exercises should I do? How should I do them? Oh, look at that guy over there. He's doing all these great big weights, and I can't even barely lift a 5 pounder. What am I doing wrong? Stuff like that. And just having, having the guidance, um, it has made it incredibly, well, I shouldn't say incredibly easy. It's a difficult journey, but has
Yeah.
made it easier.
Yeah. Did you see any difference in your strength since you started? What are like some physical changes that you notice in terms of like health, maybe mobility, flexibility, strength?
Well, my endurance, I can walk, I can lift. We have the trailer hitch in the back of the truck, and that thing is super heavy. And
Yeah.
when we put the rig into storage, we take that out of the truck and stick it in the rig. And well, Greg can't
Yeah.
do it by himself, and I've got to help him. And oh my God, it was just so much easier this time than when I was puffing and panting and trying to, you know. Um, so that's just one thing. So and the distances that I can do, uh, and I can see the difference on myself too, as far as the weight loss and whatnot. So there, I'm just doing so much better, so much better.
Yeah. Were you able to pull some old outfits from your wardrobe that you had to pull out?
Yep. Yeah, I love it. I've got so many clothes in my cupboard. I'll never have to go shopping, and I always have something new.
Yeah.
So every time I, lose a few pounds, it's great.
Yeah, you get to go shopping in your own store.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, so and any say like psychological or mindset shifts or tricks that you kind of learned throughout the process that were helpful to you on your journey that you think might be valuable for people that are on the same path as you?
Um, that's I don't know. I don't have an answer to that one.
No worries, but
I
I'm saying like maybe like
yeah.
winning the next meal, consistency compounds,
Uh,
kind of focusing on some of those things.
yes. When when I do run into difficulties, let's put it that way, I know it's not. That doesn't have to be the rest of my journey. I know that I can. It's a glitch. Deal with it, be done with it, and then move on.
Yeah.
So
So would before have been more like, this is not going so well, or I'm kind of a little bit off track. Dang it, this will be how the rest of it will be. And then you would ultimately just not continue before.
yes, that's definite. That definitely is true. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, well, I've done this now, so forget it. The day's over. It's done. I've ruined everything, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. Did you see
Yeah.
my video with about Talladega Night with Will Ferrell on self sabotage?
No, I did not. I have to look
Did you
that one
ever,
up.
did you see the movie Talladega Night with
No,
Will Ferrell? Oh, okay,
no.
cool. Well, there's a scene ultimately. So I made a video about it, but where he gets into a car accident and he thinks he's on fire because he knocked his head. But ultimately, he's in the hospital in the next scene and he's sitting in a wheelchair and he thinks that his legs are paralyzed. And his friend's like, dude, you're fine. Like nothing happened. He's like, you think I'm fine? And he grabs I think it's like a fork that was like beside him because he from him eating his previous meal. And he's
Hmm.
like, if I was fine, I wouldn't feel this. And he just stabs himself in the leg. And it's Will Ferrell, right? And so
Right.
he just pauses and then starts screaming in pain. And then so basically that's what self-sabotage looks like. It's not necessarily the fork in the leg, but the next scene is his friend grabbing a huge knife, putting it into his leg to try to remove the fork, and his
Oh
friend adding
God.
another knife to try to remove the. That's what self-sabotage looks like. Like something happened, right? You stab yourself in the leg.
Hmm.
There's no need to add more knives into the injury. It's just remove the fork and it's done. And
Exactly.
so I feel like a lot of people kind of go through that. I think that's very powerful that you share that because
Hmm.
yeah, we feel like when we slip up, like that's just the end of it. Like literally, it sounds funny when you really think of it, right? Like if you were
Hmm.
to have your trip where you had a few moments where you slipped up, it didn't set you back 6 months,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Set you back maybe like a week and a half.
If
That's
that,
it.
if that, right?
Yeah, even. And so it's like when you've made so much progression, it's just a
Hmm.
bump in the head at that point, right? It's not like a
Yeah.
if you only been 1 week into your fat loss journey, then yeah, you could backtrack everything technically you've done, but you've only been at it for a week. It doesn't count.
Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. What did you find the most helpful throughout the process? Like was it the community? Was it the coaches? Was it the meal plan? Was it the training? Like what connected the most with you?
Well, I mean, it all connected, but for me and my particular personality, the I think that the top number one most was the meal plans and the workouts. But having the coaches, having the community behind you, I mean, it's all been incredibly helpful.
Yeah, beautiful. So let me see here. So I'm curious, did you have any apprehensions before starting? Like, have you ever worked with someone online before, or was this kind of like the
No,
first time?
no, I've had personal trainers before. Otherwise, it's just been all me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is the first online, and the first time I've ever had, coaching and had that one-on-one help, other than, the personal trainers with my workouts on occasion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Any apprehension to kind of going online about how kind of the whole process would go?
well, I think I always have a little bit of apprehension because of me and,
Yeah.
and my personality and my, you know um, uh, will I have what it takes to actually do what I need to do?
Yeah.
As far as the coaching aspect of it, and being online and working with you guys, no, I don't think that concerned me at all.
Yeah. So a lot of people that I have conversation with before I jump in the program is like, I'm debating between you guys and a personal trainer in person.
Hmm.
And I'm like, it's a completely different experience, because
Yes.
if you do personal training, it doesn't really include nutrition. There's no level of
Hmm.
accountability to the extent that you get. They don't check in with you every week. They don't make those adjustments. There's no community. There's no group calls. There's no education. Um,
Exactly.
how was that for you? Obviously, you've done personal training in person before, not kind of going online. Like, what was kind of that difference in experience?
Um, Again, as you say, the personal trainers are there with you during the workout, which is great, which is awesome. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could still get a personal trainer and have them, hold my hand through the workouts. And basically that's what they do. You
Yeah.
guys are the big picture, the full picture, because I know there's no way I'm going to lose weight without the diet component. And
Yeah.
then having the community, and having, you guys to rely on, has just made such a big difference. Like I said, I've had personal trainers before, and that's strictly for the workout.
Yeah, like we have a few members that have personal trainers in person. They just do our workouts with them ultimately,
Right. Hmm.
right? So it's like, hey, at the end of the day, I feel like it serves you more into being autonomous and self-sufficient to do these workouts on your own. Because at the end of the day, if you have to rely on someone showing up for you to show up, I feel like you're doing a disservice to yourself, right? I had
Exactly.
a consultation call with someone, um, and she ended up not joining the program because I was very upfront with her. I was like, we won't hold your hand throughout the process. Like, I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to guide you. We will, like what we did with you, Erica, was like, we built a plan. We're like, hey, let's head in this direction. We've started
Hmm.
moving forward. Coach Sarah and I were beside you. And then when you fall down, that's when a hand comes in to help you get back up.
Right.
And we continue. But we don't hold the hand the whole time, because then if not, when you're on your own and you don't have a
Yeah.
coach, you're just looking for that hand. You're looking for someone to kind of be like, oh, if no one's checking in on me, why would I do it? I'm like, you're checking in on you.
Mhm. Well, exactly. I mean, we're doing this for ourselves. We're not doing it for you. We're
Yeah.
not doing it for anybody else. And if you are, then you're in trouble anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've
Absolutely.
got to do this for yourself.
I told someone, I was like, motivation is ultimately bullshit to a certain extent, because even if you were to hire me to come to your house to
Hmm.
train you, like I could shove, I'm gonna say to you, but I'd shove kale down someone's throat. But unless they swallow it, they didn't consume it. They have to choose to swallow the kale, right? I can
Exactly.
bend them in half and it will do nothing unless they decide to contract and it becomes a crunch, right? I can fold you in half, but it does nothing until you decide to contract your muscle and then it's a crunch. So you still
Exactly.
have the last word, regardless of how many people show up to your house to kick your butt. Like,
Hmm.
you still have to choose to swallow the food and to contract the muscle to make it exercise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's I'll make a video about that. It's one of my best analogies. Yeah. You can't force someone to swallow the kale or the Buddha bowl or the smoothie.
Well,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's
It's
just so
the
much you
it's
can do.
it's the lead the horse to water thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of members that listen to the podcast, and this episode's going to come out, maybe before Christmas or kind of around Christmas, like end of November, beginning of December. So we're entering a period of the year that's a little bit harder for people to kind of stay on track with their nutrition, and then potentially they're just kind of putting a whole pause in their life, waiting till January. We know we already have people signed up for January during that time. So
Mm-hmm.
what is a piece of advice that you could give to the people listening that are like, I want to get healthier, I want to lose weight, not necessarily with me, but for themselves, that they want to transform? What is
Right.
a message that you would like to share with them, with like kind of like the months of experience that you have now?
Yeah, don't wait. It's going to be a challenge regardless. And you know what? If you have some extra mashed potatoes with gravy over the holidays, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's one meal at a time, one day at a
Yeah.
time, one workout at a time, and just go for it. Go for it. You've got to, but you've got to want it. I mean, if you are on the fence, then maybe not, but um, go for it.
Yeah, because I am from personal experience too. Like, if you start working out now and eating healthier now, and you have
Mm-hmm.
the holidays and you have, let's just say, 6 bad meals, that's not going to set you back the month and a half of progress you would have gotten.
Exactly. Exactly. Have a glass of wine with your friends. Have some, have
Yeah.
some uh, stuffing. Have some, however it is you celebrate your holidays. But you're not going to eat that for every single meal. You're not
Truffle,
going to.
vegan chocolate
Yeah.
truffles.
Yeah. So yeah. That's what I plan on doing. I'm going to have a whole meal of sides, all the good sides, but try to make them a little bit more healthier, but have it feel like like a Christmas dinner. I missed Canadian Thanksgiving because I was in the States. I'm going to
Yeah.
miss U.S. Thanksgiving because I'm here. So I'm okay with that. But we're
Yeah.
going to, over Christmas, we're going to, make the stuffing and do the mashed potatoes and make some gravy and have some yams and it's not going to be the best meal, but it won't be the worst I've ever had either.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Hmm.
like, if you eat one salad, it won't make you healthy, and if you eat one
Exactly.
donut, it won't make you unhealthy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's not, it's about turning it into a lifestyle versus, like, you're not prepping for a bodybuilding show where by a certain date you have to look a certain way. You want to be able to
Exactly.
develop healthy, sustainable habits that ultimately
Hmm.
bring you to where you want to, but you want to be able to enjoy the process. And so if for you that's a glass of wine or some stuffing, or a sweet potato pie, which I'm going to have this Thanksgiving.
There you
you know
go. It's not a
well,
big
Whole
deal.
Foods
Yeah.
has like a vegan kit for vegan
Oh.
Thanksgiving at Whole Foods.
Hmm.
So Ivy and I just
Cool.
order that every year.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna
Well,
have we're
we
gonna have
might
a good
have to. I
time.
might have to look into that too.
Oh yeah, because there's Whole Foods on the island in Victoria.
Yes. Yes, there is. So for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they definitely have it for Christmas because we bought that last year.
Hmm.
We don't cook too much, so meal prep delivery companies and Whole
Yes,
Foods
I've
is
tried.
the
I've
go-to.
tried Harvest Toast too. By the way, since I was down in the States there for the month, I ordered a bunch, brought it back up here. It's in the freezer for those days that I don't want to cook.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope they ship to Canada. How did you like the meals? They're very much like oil-free and salt-free. Like, you have
yeah.
to add seasoning to some of them.
Yes, yes. That's what I was going to say. I had to add a few little things, but otherwise they were rather plain. But still, plain is not bad.
Yeah, they're very like healthy meals. I
Yes.
personally add more salt to them just because I'm
Hmm.
sweating so much with the endurance training that I just need more
Hmm.
electrolytes. But yeah,
Right.
they sell bottles. They picked up on it, so now they sell their own spices so that you can add
Uh,
to some of the meals.
Yeah, a little bit of salt, a little bit of balsamic, or a little bit of a little bit of hot sauce, depending on what it is. So, but yeah, but I'm happy to have them in the freezer so that I can just haul them out when I need to.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Erica, I want to say a massive thank you for taking the time to
Uh,
jump on the podcast. I'm excited to record another one with you once you've lost all the weight and you're done the reverse dieting process.
mm,
Um, Even just the reverse
yes,
dieting process is just a whole new sensation to it
yeah,
compared to like
yeah.
losing
I'm
all the
I'm
weight.
I'm looking forward to and a little apprehensive of.
Yeah, I know
But
it's
anyway,
mentally challenging to comprehend
I
that, like,
bet.
we're gonna make you eat more food and you won't put the weight back on.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, thank you for having me, Maxim.
Yeah,
And
of course. Well, and again, thank you for coming on the show. And for everyone listening, if you do want more information, kind of the process that Erika went through, there's a link down below in the show notes. So you guys can book your free consultation call with myself or with our team of coaches. That's kind of how Erika got into the program as well. And then ultimately see if we're a good fit to work together, see if we can help you. And we're doing something special now. Every year I used to force people to start when they signed up, but now I'm letting people start in January, just because it's very overwhelming for Coach Sarah to kind of prep everyone through Christmas and the New Year. So you have the opportunity to start now if you want to, or in January ultimately. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.